Hello, and welcome to Always More Nerd, where we take a break from the infinite possibilities to talk about the news, reviews, and previews of all things comic book, sci-fi, fantasy, and anything deemed nerdy. Today on the pod, we are talking about DC Super Fails, Phase 4 rankings, holiday special review, Ahsoka rumors, upcoming projects, and so much more. But first, I'm your host, Tim Lichty, and sitting next to me is my man who is rooting for Messi tomorrow in the FIFA World Cup final,
Yes.
Jordan. What's going on, bro?
I'm good. You know, how you doing?
Doing all right, man.
Everybody's doing good. It's been a minute. It's been a long time.
It's been a minute. and joining us from the northern land of Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah.
It is Justin. How you doing, sir?
Great. A little bit cold. You know, if you hear a space heater kick on in the background, you know, just roll with it.
Okay. All right, man. So if you have not listened to, or maybe you just never even heard of this before, Always More Nerd. We like to look. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I like to talk about this stuff, but Always More Nerd is kind of like a separate space for that. Yes. And so, but we haven't done this in 6 months, and I'll take the blame for it because it's just been busy and things are, I think, crazy for all of us. We've all been busy.
Crazy for definitely.
6 months, right? Or 5 months? It's around there.
That's a long time.
Was it July or August?
I think July was our last one because I think Thor was our last review.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's been a while.
Yeah, got some stuff to cover.
Right. So we're gonna dive right in, guys, and talk about some news. And we're not going to do too much because, like I said, we've been gone for 5 months, so we're not going to cover everything.
Yeah.
But the big thing that just came out, we're not going to cover the lead. We're not going to bypass it. Mm-hmm. And that is DC's takeover and merger, I guess, with Discovery and what that has now meant for essentially the Snyderverse. So despite not being played by Henry Cavill, co-CEO of DC Studios James Gunn has confirmed that Superman will be in his and Peter Safran's future plans. As the films will focus on a younger version of the character, Henry Cavill, the man, the myth, the legend, who's played Man of Steel for the past, well, I say past 10 years. He's been the guy. He is not going to be attached to portray Clark Kent, according to a sequence of tweets made by Gunn on this past Wednesday night. According to later sources, Gunn will pen the script for Superman film himself. It won't be an origin narrative, but it will concentrate on a teenage Superman as he enters Metropolis. Here's a quote from James Gunn. Among those on the slate is Superman in the initial stages. Our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill. But we just had a great meeting with Henry, and we're big fans, and we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future. Ready the bleep button, because what the is going on here, guys? Look. Here's
Tim, you have the floor.
Okay, look. I'm just going to say this. Look, some reports are coming out because I'm hearing things from like who's directing and writing Wonder Woman. What was her name?
I don't know.
Patty Jenkins.
Yeah. It sounds like it is going to be a hard reset. You had mentioned something about The Rock unfollowing DC's.
Yes.
Apparently. Ooh, did not know that.
If this is true, this makes me feel a little bit better. Yeah. Like, if it is a hard reset, like you are truly turning everything off, everything everywhere from Zack Snyder, then I'm at least understanding of where you're going from here.
Yeah.
However, that being said, Henry Cavill is Superman.
There's no way around it.
What I don't understand is why not. I think there should be a creative way to still bring that back in, because he is. It's like if they were to do this in the middle of Phase 2 with Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, or somebody like Tom Holland, like they just take him out,
right?
Even though he's like damn near perfect as the character. Like, it's stupid.
Here's the thing. Here's my thought. If they want to start with a younger Superman, I'm okay with that. Like, I don't know if you guys have read Superman Earth 1. Oh, man, this is weird. I'm recording in my home. It's literally...
Oh, you have it right next to you?
For the viewers.
He said, I'm recording in my
Earth
home.
1. Fantastic book. This is volume 2, actually, by J. Michael Straczynski. Highly recommend reading both. I don't know if I have volume 1. I let someone borrow it. I don't know if it ever came back. But, yeah, I like that take on Superman. Also, another early Superman story is Superman Birthright by,
Yeah.
is that Mark Waid? It's been a while. I don't remember. But I'd love to see a younger Superman who is less sure of himself, how strong he is, how powerful he is, and also just trying to establish his morals, and that all depends on, whether we have his parents being alive or dead, which is always varied through continuity.
Yeah.
And I think that would just really give us like a really great starting point, because if we could see Superman become that big beacon of hope to like build a universe around that, because I'm tired of dark, bro. Like Batman can be dark. Like the Batman, I think, was a great point to be like, yeah, this is dark. But it's not. I didn't feel like I didn't want to die leaving that theater, after that. It's like he becomes like a Gotham version of like a beacon of hope and fear at the end of that. It's like, but the DCEU, I think it's beyond repair. I think Flashpoint is, because they put all this money into it, they should release it. The universe gets reset at the end of that. And you just go from there. Because you can't recover the DCEU. It already has.
That's a good point.
So many continuity issues across the board. Like there's no cohesiveness. It's like the messiness of the 90s when you've got comic book writers writing stories and they're like, shit, I wasn't paying attention to continuity. So Wolverine's in space and he's on Earth at the same time. Except the Wolverine who's in space is actually a Skrull because he was replaced by Apocalypse. And like all of that messiness. That's kind of what the DCEU has been. And honestly, I'm over it. And I like Gal Gadot. I love Henry Cavill. But the other thing too is Henry Cavill, he's great. I want to see him in everything. I want the MCU to pick him up. I want him to be Hyperion or Sentry or Captain Britain. I want him to be someone ridiculously powerful and great. But
that probably will happen.
Yeah, it's got to. If you're Kevin, come on.
And he's such a huge nerd. I can't imagine him not talking to Marvel. But like, I really just want to see us start fresh, and I want to see more of like what the MCU did. And I think James Gunn has a really good grasp on that by not like the DCEU, I think really messed up by picking all these big names, a lot of older, more established actors. And Marvel really didn't do that for their main roles. They started with a lot of younger people who were really good actors, but didn't have that fame, whatever. And that also allowed the longevity of Iron Man was 2008.
Yeah.
And it's like now we're in 2022, going into 2023, and the MCU is still going. We still have characters from that first phase who are still functioning.
Right.
I think if we start all over with Henry Cavill, what do we have left? A decade?
Yeah. I wish
before he becomes an old Superman, and we have like a king, and then we got to go a Kingdom Come storyline.
Well, see, that's my frustration. Like, I don't blame James Gunn for doing this because it's the most logical thing to go. If you want to build a brand new DC universe, this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
I was going to be super pissed if it was just Henry Cavill, but since hearing some of these other things, I'm like, okay, it sounds like he is going to start over.
Yeah.
But I did wish, like, maybe, like, just give us one more film with him. Like, give us something spectacular. I don't know.
Because it was just announced, like, what, in October, right? That he was coming back?
Well, and that's all Warner Brothers. Like, well, when was James, when did he start?
Gunn?
Yeah.
2 months ago, right?
But he must have filmed that Black Adam shot way before that.
Way before. Had to be.
Oh,
anyway. Yeah. It just made me really mad. I don't know. DC's made me mad with a lot of things, but like I texted the group, I texted you guys, and I was mad, like furious.
Oh yeah, I hate it.
I have not been that mad at DC for a very long time.
Well, and this is all textbook Warner Brother executive. Like, this would not have been a problem had they had their shit together years ago. This is years in the coming mess, and James coming in is cleaning it up, and I'm good with that. I am genuinely happy about that.
Yeah, I think James Gunn's getting backlash for having to fix a mess that he inherited.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so
I did say he was an idiot. James Gunn, if you ever see this, I do apologize. I was just...
If it was just Superman, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
If it was just Henry Cavill, but if it is everyone else and it's totally starting over, then I understand. I get it. I'm not happy, but I get it.
Yeah.
Definitely got to get rid of Bat Flick. You know,
Oh
love
yeah.
Ben Affleck, but man, no.
Isn't he supposed to be in Flash? All the
I
How many
think
Batmans are in that movie?
no, it was. I thought Flash was Keaton.
Well, him too. I think
I think it's both.
I've heard
Maybe both.
I've heard
Shoot.
early reports that this is like it's going to be bigger than like
Like what?
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, with the cameos and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense for Flashpoint, but you know,
Right.
who knows?
When does that movie come out? 24.
Bro, could you imagine?
Never.
Hold on a second. I just realized something. If this Flashpoint is like saying true-ish to the comics, we could still see Henry one more time.
Indeed. Yeah,
Not in a very great way, but we would see him.
we would see him. Yeah.
Actually, you know what I would love to see is like the Flashpoint, like super skinny,
Right.
like prisoner Superman.
Yes,
but
I'm
no,
talking
so not Henry. Henry's way too big. I want to see like, gosh, I don't know, someone built like Michael Cera. You know, though, but I think that would be cool to
It
just be
would
like
be.
this weird, like emaciated Superman floating around.
All right. Let's move on, guys. That was our big thing. So these next few things shouldn't be that big, but guys, let's talk about Ahsoka. We have an Ahsoka show coming out next year, and I'm really stoked. So making Star Wars Insider claim that Ahsoka will actually resume up where Star Wars Rebels left off, which a lot of us is kind of already we've assumed with Rosario Dawson's elder Ahsoka, who lived in the Mandalorian era, delving into the world between worlds, which was the first established in Rebels. So for those of y'all who don't know what the world between worlds is, it's a realm in the Force that basically is a bridge between time and space and provides gateways for people to go through. Super funky, super weird. If it is in live action, it is going to be bonkers.
Yeah.
It makes sense in animated, but it's something we haven't really seen in a. I mean, other than like variants and everything with Marvel, it's pretty out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an actual space that you can see and go in time and everything. So in Rebels, Ezra Bridger, I guess spoilers if you've never seen this, Ezra Bridger pulled Ahsoka into the world between worlds, where they were almost attacked by Palpatine, or fleeing from a dangerous confrontation from Darth Vader. It would be reasonable for Ahsoka to use the world between worlds to attempt to locate Ezra after he vanished in outer space at the conclusion of Rebels. If reports are accurate, the Ahsoka series will see just that. Ahsoka Tano will, however, revise her own chronology as she explores the world between worlds and gets glimpses of herself in other historical periods and alternate realities. So there is another young actor playing Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Ahsoka, and is neither the brilliant Rosario Dawson or actress fan favorite Ashley, is it Eckstein? Eckstein?
Eckstein's right.
Yeah.
Eckstein.
Who played the voice of Ahsoka. So basically we might see variant version, or like not variant, but just different timeline versions of Ahsoka, and get like different live action actresses to play her, which is super cool.
I'm all for it.
You guys, I know Mando is coming up. We're gonna be talking about Mando soon, but Ahsoka is like my number 2 favorite Star Wars character. So any thoughts about this?
Just pure excitement. I'm ready.
Yeah, I want to see more stuff moving away from Skywalkers. I mean, definitely it's still going to be tangentially, you know, attached with probably a Luke appearance in some capacity, and probably a Force ghost of Anakin. Because I mean, let's be real, why wouldn't they have one?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know. I'm excited to see more right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who's the actor who's playing Ezra? I'm really excited to see him on screen.
Oh gosh, I forget his name. You know what?
Didn't he play Aladdin or no?
No, that's who people at Fancast it.
That's right.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name.
Hold on, I'm googling it.
Well, while you do that, I am really excited to, because Dave Filoni, this is like he's not show running it, but he's definitely involved in it, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm just really, because this is like, for everyone who's watched Rebels, for everyone who's watched Clone Wars, it is fun to see this all come out into a live action form. I'm really hoping to see a Rex. If I don't see a Rex sometime, I mean, it's not hard because what's his name? He would do it.
Yes.
The guy
For sure.
The guy who plays Boba and Rex, I guess. So yeah.
It's Amon Esfandi.
Okay.
I'm probably ruining his last name.
What's he been in?
He was in King Richard.
Okay.
And Robert Rodriguez's film Red 11, which honestly I don't want him in touching my Star Wars anymore, but you know.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for Ahsoka. And last but not least, let's talk about Blade. Guys, it's one of those films that I've been excited for because it's a character that I think is, I mean, we've seen him a few times in the past, but obviously that was a different era of Marvel. But
different.
Blade is about to venture into unknown territory. Last week, it was widely rumored that Jan Demange had been chosen as the new director of the impending Marvel Studios relaunch. Along with such rumors, there were rumors that the Burbank-based production company intended to change the production tone, making it the darkest entry yet in the franchise. Now, here's where it gets confusing, though. While it won't be R-rated, bloodbaths like the Wesley Snipes movies ultimately became, Kevin Feige's production company is seeking to go with, quote, a darker tone on this film than other MCU projects have been in the past, according to Justin Kroll of Deadline. So here's the question: is if it's not rated R, I mean, are we?
That's yeah.
Are we? Because we know we're getting a Deadpool that's rated R, that's happening. So it can happen. Are we just? Is this another multiverse of madness? Like, what are we?
What are we saying? If it's not rated R, then what is it?
Well, I don't think that we need to be rated R when it comes to vampires. Like, canonically speaking, in comics, when you kill a vampire, they kind of just go to dust.
Yeah, but when they kill, that's usually
when they kill.
So you can get a lot more violence in there without having. Like, you can come close to the R rating without having to hit that level of, like, you can do dismemberments in Star Wars style where it's not bloody or whatever. So we can still keep it darker. We can add some more horror aspects. And they can, play around with it stylistically like they did with Werewolf by Night and have some, like, really gruesome fight scenes without it being necessarily R-rated. I think if you have a good director on the scene, you can get that horror, get that visceralness without necessarily having to be blatantly violent.
Yeah. All right,
I agree. We'll see.
It is definitely, because wasn't the Batman 13?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they can pull off the tone, and I'm really hoping that it's not just a Kevin just saying this just to get things riled up and everything. I really do hope it does a darker tone, but yeah.
All right, so because they've been playing around with different genres more.
Agreed. Yeah. Did you guys? And this is a side note. Did you guys watch Werewolf by Night?
I have not finished it,
dude.
I have like 10 minutes.
That was solid.
It was solid.
It's so good.
Besides the 10 minutes, I have not finished, but yes.
Yeah. All right,
the
guys.
ending's great too. I love it.
What was that?
I said the ending is great too. I just love the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap this first segment up, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back to talk about reviews of Guardians and Phase 4. We'll be right back, guys. All right, everybody. We are back here to talk about some Marvel stuff. Because, I mean, Marvel is just... it's a machine at this point. Here's the thing about Phase 4, which we're about to talk about in a second here, is people think like, man, I feel like there hasn't been much Phase 4, but if you look at all the projects, there's a lot of shows, which takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
So as far as screen time goes, Phase 4 was huge.
Pretty big.
Pretty big.
Biggest phase, right? It's the biggest, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if by runtime it is.
Yeah, like including shows and movies.
I think so.
For sure.
I mean, Phase 1 is definitely the shortest. Phase 2 wasn't huge. I think it had 5 movies, maybe 6. Phase 3 was close, but I think you might be right. I think Phase 4 might be the biggest.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel that way because not that much has really happened in the grand universe scheme of everything, or at least as far as we know yet.
Yeah, as far as we know.
Yeah, I think. Can we actually touch on that a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the things I see online. I feel like people want in-game levels of connectivity that took a freaking decade to obtain already in Phase 4, whereas Phase 4 is basically like Phase 1 all over again. We're introducing tons of new characters. We have to lay the groundwork for what the world is.
Yeah.
because like Civil War couldn't have happened without everything before it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are missing out on. Is like, hey, if you want to have movies of that caliber, we have to build up all of these origin stories. We have to make you care about all these characters. We have to understand the nuance to have the kind of conflict that, like, you can't put Civil War on screen without having seen everything Cap went through and everything that Tony went through. So I honestly think that Phase 4, it's been planting so many seeds if you know where to look. Between Miss Marvel and the Ten Rings connection. We already know the Ten Rings are some weird alien artifact. I am 98% sure that unless Kevin Feige is trolling us super nerd comic book readers, that Miss Marvel's bangle is a nega band, you know, which are tied to the Kree. That came off of a blue corpse.
Right. It's got to be. It's got
you know,
Yes, it
and
has to be.
we had switching places, which did y'all see that Kevin Feige confirmed that they didn't switch places and they switched to bodies?
They switched bodies?
Yeah, I read that. I read that literally, I think it was last night.
That's gonna be
that it's a Freaky Friday situation, not a
like we switched places. We actually switched bodies. Wow.
Which is also, again, nega bands in the comics. Rick Jones, who used to be like Hulk's sidekick, and Genis Vell, who was the son of the original Captain Marvel. That's kind of how they function, is they have a pair of nega bands and they switch places. Only one of them's in real space at the same time. So there's so much interconnectivity. It's all going to play out in really great ways. And I think that people just need to be patient.
Right.
And we've just been ruined by the high quality of the end of Phase 3. And we want that now.
Right.
But we didn't get Phase 3 without 1 and 2.
And I will expand on that. I agree with you. We have to keep in the mindset that they are not restarting, but they are, what's the word I'm looking for? It's refreshing, and it's the closest thing to restarting. Of course, you still got some Phase 1 characters coming back, or characters from the first 3 phases, or what are they calling the Infinity Saga? But also, too, I would say, Justin, what we saw in Phase 4 was a lot of backlash from people who, let's be honest, political ideologies. A lot of people are bashing certain Phase 4 products because they are quote unquote woke or whatever else. And so that's usually tied into all this. Like, oh, wow, this isn't like Phase 1. Like, guys, we didn't hear about Thanos until like the last movie of Phase 1, and we hardly even saw him.
Barely.
So, like, literally, we didn't see him in action until Guardians, right? Like, we didn't. Like,
is that the whole, like, I'll do it myself, and he got the gauntlet? Was that it?
Well,
that was the end of the first Avengers.
Right. Like, that was it. But, like, actually, like, see him, like, in any kind of action, like, moving around, like, actually in a movie, really, until Guardians, where he's, like, you know, he's looking for the Power Stone. But we see Kang already. Like, we've already, like you said, we're kind of spoiled here. Like, we already got Kang. I mean, we saw him in Loki. He's going to be in Ant-Man. Granted, that's Phase 5, but, like, we know who he's around. We know he's the big baddie, and he's already making some waves. Thanos, as far as we know, we didn't really see any of that until, like, the end of Phase 5, or excuse me, Phase 2, Phase 3, really.
That's another thing, is, like, why people, you know, like you were talking about, people are complaining, like, where's that next, like, he's here.
Right.
He's just not, you know, I think I talk to a lot of people, like, I would guess, like, the average MCU fan doesn't really understand that He Who Remains and his other variants are, like, you know, terrible. Like, they're expecting He Who Remains is, like, the villain, and they're like, what did he do? Like, no, you have no idea, like, how many variants this dude has been. Like, it's gonna be nuts. Like,
yeah, and it's like, which also I want to touch on too with that. That his appearance in Loki, I mean, it was so long ago, but, like, that was such a surprise to be like, oh wait,
we got him already.
Hey, it's Kang. I mean, because He Who Remains is a character, and we knew that there was someone at the end of time as, like, a comic book reader, but we weren't necessarily expecting, oh wait, it's a Kang variant, because we weren't expecting to see Kang until Ant-Man. So getting him in there and him explaining all the seeds and the undertones of what's happening. You know, how that opened up the multiverse for things like Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man. And
you getting a light bulb?
I just had this idea of, like, what if all of the projects that we've seen thus far with all of our new characters aren't necessarily in the same timeline.
Ooh, homie. Oh no, I don't know if I like that though. I do, but I don't.
No. But like, what if
we-
it's still relevant because it comes together in
Yeah.
the Avengers movies that are coming up?
Yeah.
But like,
That'd be
what
so
if?
man.
Because one of the things a lot of people complain about. Also, I hate the complaints like, "Oh, where's Captain America when there's a giant celestial coming out of the ocean?" This man's on the other side of the world. What's he gonna do? He's a human with a freaking vibranium suit. Like that's all he's got going for him. Like, bro, like we aren't teleport. They don't have teleporters or whatever. It's like
You're there.
I'm
You're
sure
there.
there's government investigations after the fact, but like,
Yeah.
what's Captain America gonna do? Throw a shield at it? Come on,
Right.
bro.
Yeah.
Try to lift it out of the ocean.
All right, guys. Well, hey, let's do this. We're talking about Phase 4, so let's do our Phase 4 rankings. So, like we said at the beginning of the show, we haven't been here in like 5 months, so there's been 3 projects that we haven't talked about yet, really in full. We talked a little bit about Ms. Marvel, but we're gonna do a Phase 4 rankings. So we're gonna start at 14. We are excluding What If and the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special because while they might officially count, I don't think they are. I mean, I guess Guardians will more than What If, but in my brain, it just doesn't fit in the same way as everything else. It's a special, and so. But we're gonna start at 14, and I'm gonna start with Justin, and we'll go around. So Justin, Jordan, then me, and we'll kind of go around. We're gonna speed round through like the first few, and we can banter a little bit if we want. But
sure we are.
Justin, what's your worst of the worst for you?
Honestly, Thor.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my list. My list is messy. I forgot about Black Widow. Black Widow.
Okay.
All right, Jordan.
That was so long ago. I legit forgot.
I know, dude.
I'm gonna go with She-Hulk.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna go with She-Hulk.
Okay, mine.
Not that it was bad. It's just at the bottom of my
I
list.
will say this before moving on. There is not a single project on here that I did not enjoy.
Yes.
However, I
Besides-
agree with Justin here. My number
At the bottom? What the hell?
my number 14 was also Black Widow. It's just forgettable.
He
It's
actually
just,
got up.
It's just like I don't
You
remember.
thought that Black Widow's better than she?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
How is Thor better than She-Hulk? How is Doctor Strange better than She-Hulk? She-Hulk was
For many reasons, bro. Many reasons. Many reasons.
She-Hulk was such an excellent representation of her character in the comics. It was f***ing hilarious. Like, bro.
I agree with you. It's just at the bottom of my list.
Oh my god!
How would
All right, moving along.
like I'm
Justin,
not there.
Justin, which number 13?
Hey Jordan, what's at the top of your list?
No, don't say it.
No, yeah, come
no,
on.
I want to know. I'm gonna put it in
No.
number 13.
No, you
No,
actually
I'm
wouldn't.
kidding. It's probably Thor.
Okay.
I feel that. It's Thor for me too.
Don't hate me, but it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I
hate you.
Oh yeah, we are on the same team for this. Oh yeah, we do.
I
we do
think-
not.
I think last time we talked about this is I wanted to like this more than I wanted to like it. I really wanted this to be on the top of my list. But man, it just wasn't vibing with me. There were a few standout episodes that I really enjoyed, but as a whole, it just kind of fell flat for me. Not to say I didn't enjoy it and that I didn't like. I'm really excited to see Anthony like take on his own movie, and I think that will be fantastic. But maybe just between the pacing and everything else, it wasn't for me. I think it would have been better as a special or something different. But yeah.
Respect that.
Okay. All right. We're causing some ruffles already. Number 12, Justin.
I'm upset. Probably Doctor Strange,
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
I have.
which I really enjoyed that movie.
Right.
But
and that's
Doctor
like I
Strange.
said, that's the thing we have to understand here. Like we're not here to cause a fight here. We all enjoy these
Justin was
things.
damn near ready to cause a fight. I'm glad he's on the other side of that camera. He probably would push me off the chair.
Jordan, which number 12?
It's gonna be Black Widow.
Okay.
No, 'cause,
okay.
Yeah, Thor was my
Okay. All right.
I'm
All
throwing
right.
this off the cuff right now because I'm trying to. Really
above Thor? Come on, bruh.
Thor was. I did not like Thor. I did not. I mean, wasn't Thor at the bottom of your list?
It's after Black Widow though.
Oh.
Like it's higher. It's higher than Black Widow.
Okay.
My number 12 was Hawkeye. I'm not a huge Christmas movie fan, but like this one was, like I said, it had its great moments, and I really enjoyed seeing Kingpin in there. But the timing of everything was super just awkward to me, and so it was okay. It was all right. I'm not complaining about it, but it's also not at the top of my list. Justin, number 11.
Eternals.
Okay, I'm close to that. I get it.
Yeah.
Jordan,
And Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
okay. My number 11 was Miss Marvel. It was fun, and I think the thing I enjoyed most about this show was the lack of it being superhero-y. I really enjoyed the character building in all of this, and I loved hearing all the lore and everything. But yeah, not bad.
Agreed.
Justin, number 10.
Probably Miss Marvel.
Okay. Yeah. Jordan?
Miss Marvel for me too.
And my number 10 is a swap with you, Justin, is Eternals. It's a movie, and it was okay, and I'm not excited to rewatch it, but I'll rewatch it eventually. So,
Fair.
Justin, number 9.
Here's where I start getting controversial. Moon Knight.
Oh, wow.
That did piss me off last time we did.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know how to feel about this. Jordan.
I have Eternals.
Okay, so we're all somewhat close here, I guess. Number 9, right? My number 9 was She-Hulk. And not because I did not enjoy it, and not because
Wait, we're at 9? I'm missing something on my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, wait, no, I can't count. Carry on.
I enjoyed She-Hulk. I really did. And I really loved also having Matt Murdock in there. But there's something about movies too. That's the challenge with doing shows and movies all in the same list. Is unless that show is spectacular, it's not going to go super high on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So She-Hulk, number 9. Number 8, Justin.
See, this is when my list starts to get complicated because I don't know. So I got a block, and in my bottom 3 of my blocks, I have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, and She-Hulk, which are all kind of sitting in the same spot for me.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm confused. I think I have Doctor Strange.
Same. Doctor Strange for my number 8.
Yeah.
I think I just really enjoyed, because it was the first time we truly got into the multiverse, and that was just super exciting for me. And, you know, everything else was super kind of choppy and messed up for me, but I really just enjoyed that. And of course, seeing John Krasinski as Reed Richards was fun. So, number 7, Justin.
Same thing. Falcon, Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, She-Hulk. I got them all tied.
Okay. Jordan.
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Man, you guys are giving me no love for Moon Knight. My number 7 was Thor. I like Taika, but this film was just, I think he gave himself too much freedom. Like it was like too many jokes, too many, I don't know, side quips.
The pacing was weird.
The pacing was weird.
Super weird.
Yeah. All right, number 6, starting to get a little serious here, Justin. Is it those same 3?
Thing. Yep, that's the last of the 3.
Okay.
What'd you say? Strange?
It's in the Falcon, Winter Soldier, Hawkeye,
okay,
She-Hulk
okay,
tie.
Yeah, okay. It's Loki for me.
Wow, okay. My number 6 is WandaVision.
Mm.
And it's starting to get tight here, but yeah, WandaVision. I mean, was that first Phase 4?
Yes.
Something off my list.
But it was a special something, man. Like that was in the middle of the pandemic, and it was the first Marvel project we got, and it was definitely, man. You got everyone talking in the Marvel fandom. All right, here we go. Number 5, and we can kind of dive a little bit deeper if we want to and argue a little bit more. Justin, what is your number 5?
Number 5 for me is Loki.
Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and just skip Jordan and say that's also my number 5. Dude, it was a good one.
It was.
All right, Jordan, what's your number 5?
It's supposed to be Moon Knight. I had
You got a mixed match
I
there?
got a mixed match. Hawkeye was supposed to be at 10. So yeah, it's Moon Knight.
Okay. Yeah, Loki was, dude, that was just, it was really well paced. I enjoyed the magnitude of it all. And it was the first time that we got to focus on, not an anti-hero. I don't know if you call Loki an anti-hero, but it truly kind of, because I'm looking at all these other projects, we haven't had a full-on villain show or movie or anything. So that was exciting to see and see his character development. And I am super curious to see where this goes in season 2 for Loki, because we know that's coming around the corner.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. All right, number 4. Justin, what you got?
WandaVision.
WandaVision. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
WandaVision.
Okay. My number 4 was Moon Knight. Dude, that show was all about messing with your brain, and it's basically, seeing the Batman of the Marvel Universe in a way, and I super enjoyed it. That was
Really
low
good.
on your list, though, Justin, wasn't it?
Which one?
Moon Knight?
Moon Knight? Yeah, it was
or
not
mid-table.
low.
Like 7,
It was right below the last block of shows.
Okay.
But I mean, the shows were all mostly like, they all hit differently, and I liked them all. So like, not bad at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. From what I can tell, we all might have the same top 3. I'm assuming it's going to be in different order.
Yeah. Should be good.
So let's figure it out. Justin, what's your number 3?
I
Interesting.
don't know. Like those 3, man, it's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And I have different reasons for it. Like,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the quality of the film necessarily.
no, literally, I wrote this list and I'm looking at it and I don't agree with it anymore. Like, that's where I am.
I know. I'm kind of
I
like,
put-
should I move this around or?
Yeah, like we all know it's Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, Black Panther. Black Panther is the most fresh, and so that's kind of sitting at the top of my list. But I also cried a lot in Spider-Man too. Like both of those movies, like just got you in the feels.
They did.
Was that your 3, 2,
Shang-Chi-
1?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what that
Just name
order
3,
is.
name
But
3.
Shang-Chi just it was so fun. And like no one expected
No,
that
right.
level. Like it came out of the gates like, hey, we're fun, we're hilarious, no stupid romance subplot.
Right.
And it just expanded the world of the MCU in such a way that like we didn't see coming.
No. Yeah. Shang-Chi is also my number 3.
Shang-Chi is also my number 3.
It's just, you're right, dude. It's just so much fun. Like, the action scenes are stellar.
Yes.
Like, the bus scene is just chef's kiss.
Excellent.
Oh,
Everything.
like,
Everything.
we have not seen anything really like that, except for maybe Civil War.
Yeah.
And we got Razor Fist in the movie. Come on,
Right,
bro.
yeah.
Like
Right.
insanity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so here's where I'm assuming we all have our number 1 and 2 is Spider-Man and Black Panther. Justin, you just said Black Panther number 1, Spider-Man number 2, correct?
Sure. But like, I don't know.
I got Spider-Man at number 1 and Black Panther at number 2.
I'm the same way. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I think Spider-Man just delivered a better movie-going experience.
Yeah.
But now that I say that out loud, Black Panther did too. Shoot.
Both of them did. They
I think Black Panther suffered a lot in some of the not the spacing, but just it felt long in the middle, like the end of the second act. It felt really long.
Yeah, the pacing was, it was kind of.
I'll say
Up and
that,
down.
but I really enjoyed both.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed. Like nothing's bad here.
Nothing's bad.
That top 3.
It's
Yeah.
just nitpicking.
Nitpicking.
Okay, well let's do this then. We got a little bit of time. Let's talk about Black Panther. What did we like? What did we not like? What was the overall feeling and vibes?
I feel like, and a lot of people don't agree with this, but I feel like the way they went out with T'Challa's real character I liked it. I didn't expect them to start it off like that. Which kind of wrecked me.
Oh, who doesn't like that? Because they're wrong. They're wrong. That's it.
Because Ryan Coogler, he obviously like talked to the family and like what was the best way to kind of do this, with Kevin Feige and Chadwick's family, and I think that was like Ooh, not me getting choked up.
Yeah.
It was great, and I think doing it in silence was like
Mm.
the most like
That was the beginning
gut.
and the end.
Yeah,
Like
it was.
that-
It was like yo, like with movies, you usually. I would say most movies usually tie with a song. They do like some type of track to, get people crying and whatnot. Like it was just pure silence, and yeah, that was the top for me.
I think that really reflects just how deafening and sudden Chadwick's real death was. It was such a shock to the world. Like there wasn't like this crescendo, like to where we knew he had cancer and we knew this was coming. There was no musical crescendo. There was no real life crescendo to this moment that was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was just like a Band-Aid, and it was just shocked
Ripped
everyone.
Yeah.
And so I think they really reflected that both in the movie based on what happened in real life with Chadwick.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like the my gosh, but just like the face, the panic, like her manic nature as she's like trying to figure out a way to save him.
Yeah.
Like that to me, it just hits so real because it's like, I mean, if you ever experience that grief and it's like you're not rational, you're not functioning well, you're in this moment of panic because your worst case scenario is coming true, and then it hits, and then reality just shifts, and nothing is. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like it took me back, like to, experiencing loss, and it hit in a way that no other MCU movie hit me emotionally.
Yeah. No, great. It was great.
Yeah. And like the overall film, I have no real big nitpick, so I don't even know what to say from here on out other than it was a beautiful film.
I sure did not see the Queen dying. I did not see that
No.
coming.
Oh man, I did, but I was like,
Because they
they're
did
not
that.
gonna
They did
do
that shot
that
in the
to her.
trailer.
And they did.
Yeah, they showed
and
that
I was
shot.
like, but she died in such heroic way. She is the queen of the most powerful nation on earth, and she dies saving some broke ass kid from like MIT. Like, yo, I'm like, that was a testament to her character to be like, I'm gonna die to save this child because she has so much more potential to offer the world, rather than seeking to preserve herself. And
Yeah.
she's trusting her child to be able to do what's best for the nation.
Right.
And
It was.
yeah, and I like, and a lot of people, again, complaints and what they did not like about it. I liked it. I mean, I think everything that they did was great, and the way that they redirected that, especially Ryan Coogler, like completely rewriting and functioning around that. But nobody was. I mean, everybody was kind of like, "Oh, there's no credit scene. There's no." This is the end of a phase. Where's that next teaser to what's happened? Like, I feel like it was pretty teased enough in the movie if you watched it. Like, what is it going to be? Armored Wars. There was a lot of hint to that, and I don't know why. I think it's so funny because I think this is exactly what America would do in real life. Like, this is exactly.
For sure.
I was like, yo. Let's just go into a war like that we know we're going to, well, not going to lose, but they're going to be ignorant. They're going to just like, we have the biggest and baddest, but they don't. And I think that's what's going to be interesting in Armored Wars.
And are we going to see that conflict play out more with having characters like Captain America, who's working for the government, who has a suit that was given to him from Wakanda, and then you got Bucky, like
a whole arm.
And the Thunderbolts.
There's so
much. Are the
much.
Thunderbolts going to get thrown at Wakanda? There's so many threads there that we already have existing and built up that we might see some really fun conflict play out in the backdrop of the next phase.
Yeah. I am excited too. What do you guys? I want to hear y'all's thoughts about young T'Challa and where do we think that might go? Because my first instinct or my first gut reaction was Young Avengers. Like we might get it sooner than what we thought. Just with I mean he's still young, granted, but I feel like it's kind of there's so many of these young characters that are coming out that I'm like, man, if they're not getting to it now at phase 6, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I agree, and I like the way that they did that. I definitely saw it coming midway through the movie. At that scene where they were trying to honor T'Challa, and she was like, "Wait," she said, "I have something to tell you about your brother." And then
Oh,
Namor showed up. I was like, he has to have a kid. I was like, okay, Nakia being away from Wakanda for 6 years, like that's not weird. Like,
Yeah, it's like he definitely did something.
yeah,
You know, young T'Challa, I think I like that we're establishing a new T'Challa because I think he's an important character.
Yeah.
And I want to see him in the future. And by him being young, that means we can cast T'Challa. If we don't need to touch him for 8 years,
Right.
and we can wait till all of this stuff plays out, and we can have a new T'Challa, a new Black Panther.
Yeah, there's no need to rush
he is
it.
an important character.
yeah,
And we can have honestly one who's a little bit more comic accurate than the one we had. I want to see a smart, arrogant king. Because in the comics, his intelligence is up there with like Reed and Tony, and I want to see more of that. And having the sister to help build that up for him, I think would be good. Because I'd also love to see the political conflicts that play with a character like T'Challa being both an Avenger and the king of a foreign nation that is not always in alignment with the U.S., where most of the other Avengers reside. But I also don't think I don't think we're necessarily going to see a young Avengers. I know there's been a lot of lead into that, I feel like, but as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, everything's playing out at the rate that real time actors are just getting too old to be realistically a bunch of kids. And I think maybe it's like we're just building up more so the next generation, because I mean, like, what's his face? Paul Rudd is in his 50s.
Are you sure?
Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan got to retire eventually. So having these new Captain America type figures, we had an Eli Bradley appearance. We've got, Cassie. We've got maybe Kang will lead us to an Iron Lad. We've got Riri. Like Don Cheadle's old as hell, bro. Like, so it's like we have all of these established characters who are eventually going to have to phase out. So I'm wondering if rather than building, it might be Young Avengers, but I think less from like the comic perspective of a bunch of teenagers and more like we're just the new young next generation of superheroes.
Yeah.
That they have to realistically establish to make us care about them when all of these old people retire and or die in the future Secret Wars.
Yeah,
Secret
Wars. Yep. All right, guys. Well, I think a pretty good ranking here. No, super big surprises as far, at least on top. In the middle and the end, kind of.
Beside mine. I enjoyed it, and I loved because I immediately got pissed when she in the middle of what She-Hulk's finale, where you have all these people showing up. I was like, yep, this is the normal. This is the normal. This is the normal. It's like, yep, this is expected. Like, who else is going to show up? Hulk's son going to show up too? Yeah, like, let's do it. Like, and I was really confused. Like, I don't think anything.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, I don't think Marvel did anything like anything like this to where it's like, what the fuck? Like, I thought my Disney Plus was like acting up. I was like, Tierra, did you touch something?
Great. Yeah.
I was like, you sit on the remote or something? Like, what's going on? And seeing her like crawl out of the screen, I was like, yo, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good. And I like the whole
and Kevin.
Yeah.
I loved it.
With the hat and everything, and him hinting like at the like, hey, you need to go back to your regular self. But we can't show you because we don't have the money for CGI. And it
like the VFX team has moved on.
Yeah, and it has like the Black like the Wakanda song in the background to kind of tease that's what they're working on. No, that was great. That saved it for me, honestly, because I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to.
But also Daredevil just showing up at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the fight, and just him just like being like, also the dropping out of the sky, where there's nowhere to drop out of the sky from, was the most comic book thing ever.
Right. No,
because sometimes people are like, "What are you swinging from?" Like to Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Like,
right. No, that was the joy in She-Hulk. And maybe I should have listed a little bit higher, but that was the joy in all, because they were playing on so many tropes and on so many things they knew was going to happen because of this show.
Yeah.
It was just so perfectly laid out and planned out. It was a joy to see that like final episode, because it's like, yeah, all you guys that are complaining and like giving this show shit, they knew it. They know you so
or
well.
Just Marvel in a whole too.
Right, right.
Phase 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
But
just
also, even just like the little things in the episodes, the Avengers, like apparel, all the man,
The Iron
like
Man
even just like
3s.
the side plots, like because that was the thing that really got me, like the oh man, the Mr. Immortal, you
Yeah.
know, just jumping out of the window. I'm like that. Yep, that tracks. You know, it was all very, it's very good.
Yes.
I liked it a lot because it didn't take itself seriously.
right.
We're not. A lot of people complained that it didn't move the world forward,
Mhm.
and I was the thing I liked about it was like
Right.
we don't need everything to be some sort of we're building this new world, whatever.
Mhm.
No, just have fun.
Right.
Just have fun in the world, and I want more of that.
Yeah.
All right, before we move forward, let's I'm gonna ask you guys this: what is, and I don't know how many things are slated, but what is your most anticipated Phase 5 movie or show?
Hmm.
Captain America.
The new
Not
yeah,
Cap.
Okay.
Um,
I'm trying to
or
think of all
honestly,
of
the
them.
Marvels.
I'd probably say Ant-Man. I don't know. I'm thinking
Ant-Man or Marvels, I
'Cause I
think,
think-
is going to be the biggest world.
I think Ant-Man's gonna break open a lot of it. Like,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be our driver for the phase.
yeah,
That's going to bring in like all the cosmic, weird stuff that leads to your big
Mhm.
conflict. I think that's really going to start painting the picture for people and is going to help us see like some of the interconnectedness.
Mhm.
Probably Fantastic Four references if we're talking quantum realm,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like there needs to be some tie to everything that's going on when we eventually introduce them. I am interested to see how that all plays out with the delays around Fantastic Four and Blade and how that affects the overall plot. But Captain America, I'm just really excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, it doesn't make me as excited because I just know that it's going to be something that's going to be.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're
It's
saying.
like I don't have the anticipation of what are we going to experience. It's like, oh, okay, this is going to be a fun, good, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got time for one more thing in our main segment here, and let's just talk about it's holiday season. It's December. It's the end of the year.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the joy that was Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Yeah, you Justin, you spoke about She-Hulk just being like a non-moving show. This is that. I mean, granted, it had one little thing that kind of made the universe a little bit more interesting with Mantis and
Yes.
Quill being half brother and sister.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just a fun little holiday special,
Kevin
special.
Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon. I mean, you got Kevin Bacon in there. Nothing can really go wrong.
No. It was funny, bro.
And the music was surprisingly good. Like
Yeah.
I was not
Yes.
expecting that. I was like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite part about the whole thing as I was watching it, it was like I was watching it like in full Christmas mode. I had the Christmas tree light lit up. I had a fireplace going on, and I was just watching and just chilling. Like I was expecting it just go by, but dude, I was laughing and I was just enjoying the whole thing the whole time through.
Yeah.
Like I really if this was its own movie, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah, especially like the whole Mantis and Drax thing, like going to Earth and like looking for him.
Yeah.
Looking for Kevin was just hilarious, bro. It was insane. I loved it.
Yeah. Justin, any thoughts about it?
I mean, it was fun. It was great. I do have to throw in my usual caveat that I'm a little bit disappointed that Mantis is what she is in the MCU, but it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
All right, guys. Well, with that being said, that will end our main segment, but don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about a few upcoming things that we have seen trailers for and give our thoughts and predictions. So we'll be right back. All right, everybody. Welcome back from that short break. We have 4 projects to talk about that are upcoming in both Marvel and Star Wars because I'm leaving DC. I'm boycotting DC for I don't know how long. I just, man,
A long time.
I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Like I said, I know that things will get better if they keep James Gunn doing things, but
Yeah,
I'm just not happy.
we like James Gunn.
I know. All right, we have 3 Marvel things and 1 Star Wars thing. That starts with some Marvel. Let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We got our first trailer for it like a week or 2 ago. We saw some things that we knew were coming. We got some vibes from it. What are we feeling about Warlock?
It looks dope.
No opinions yet.
Yeah, we only have one glimpse
One
of him.
shot,
No,
yeah.
no voice, anything like that.
Looks cool from
Did-
what I see.
Did he look like you thought he would look?
Pretty much. But he's a weird character. So, like, anything they do with him can pretty much be, like, in line with his comic book behavior because we don't have enough time for me to even explain Adam Warlock and all the shenanigans that go on with him.
Are we expecting? Here's a 2-part question. Are we expecting any kind of tie-ins to any other cosmic level Marvel-ness? Are we expecting any tie-ins with Marvels? Are we expecting any tie-ins with potentially Thor? Anything at all? Or we think this would be a standalone? James Gunn is going to kill all of the Guardians at the same time. Like, what are we expecting?
I don't
here?
think James Gunn is going to kill the Guardians.
He's gonna kill
I think
two
if
of them.
anyone dies, it'll be Drax.
Rocket
Drax, I can
Drax
definitely.
dying.
He wants to go anyway, so
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, he's talked about, like, just the challenges of just being older and trying to. He said that he doesn't think he could physically do the role for another movie, which
Yeah.
I get because man's in his 50s,
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like to kill off someone, it's got to be Drax. I think we might see some tie-ins to maybe Eros
Ooh.
and Pip the Troll.
Oh.
Floating around
And-
in the cosmic space. Maybe some loose Eternals ties.
I was about to say,
Um,
yeah.
Everything that they started building on there. Because also nowhere is the head of a dead celestial. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Indeed. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like it has
Maybe
the potential to connect to
Go ahead.
anything. Like
that. Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
guy that I
It's
can't
so
tie
much.
it down to one thing. I think if anything, there's I don't know. That's the thing. It's kind of hard because they kind of tie in with anything if they want to.
So what I liked about the trailers, they really did a good job of making you kind of believe that anyone could die. Obviously, it definitely makes you feel like Rocket's going to die.
Yeah.
But does anyone else in this room think that that's just a false, like, red herring? Like, maybe it's not going to be him. Like, it's going to be Drax and maybe, like, I don't know, Quill or something. I don't know.
I think it's either or to me, Rocket or Drax.
I don't think they'll kill Rocket just because. I think the other thing with Rocket is a character who's easy to keep around. Because
Right.
you can recast his voice actor if you have to, and you can still have Rocket,
Yeah.
be Rocket. Versus any of your other live action characters. Same with Groot, really.
Yeah.
It's like Rocket and Groot have been a duo outside of the Guardians for a while, so it would be cool to be able to see them down the road, even if the Guardians break up like they do. If they plant seeds for a Nova movie, which I'm hoping they do, because I love me some Richard Rider. Gosh, his
Gamora was
name's
in this trailer, right?
Big Rider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. So like, yeah, I don't see Rocket dying, but I
Well-
could be wrong.
Well, he said, James, if I'm not mistaken, said that this is going to be the last time we see this group as Guardians. So that makes us believe there will be another Guardians of the Galaxy team. So here's the question. Who do you see in this group staying, and who do you see as a potential newcomers in the Guardians?
I think Rocket and Groot would stay. Newcomers, I'd love to see Nova. Also Moondragon, who in the comics is Drax's daughter, but her backstory is messy. And maybe another Marvel like Phyla-Vell. Her and Moondragon are a couple in the comics. But yeah, I don't know. I love to see some of the more like current Guardians as well as just like more obscure Guardian characters. Vance Astro would be cool. He's a future version of Vance Astrovic, who is an Avenger by the name of Justice, who's a mutant. But the future version of him, future alternate timeline version of him, has Captain America's shield as well. Makes him a interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we see Star-Lord Peter Quill still being a prominent figure in the MCU going forward?
I would hope so.
I think so. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't see. I feel like it could go either way. But Chris Pratt's still a big name.
Right.
Throwing money at him. He hasn't done anything to make it seem like, oh, I wouldn't be down for doing this again.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're so sporadic, we don't see a lot of him. So it's not like it's
Exactly.
restricting him.
True.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out 2023. Moving forward, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but let's talk about Ant-Man Quantumania. It feels like it's going to be the biggest film in Phase 5.
It's the beginning of Phase
Right?
5, right?
Because we're not catching any other. Both of the Avenger films aren't happening until Phase 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
It's the beginning of Phase 5, right?
I think so. This is going to be the big. I'm trying to think if there's any other bigger like universe building films in Phase 5, because Fantastic is not until 6.
I don't even have.
Wait,
a
what is
great
Secret?
idea
What is Secret?
Phase 5.
I was gonna say we need like a.
Yeah, hold on. All right, we're gonna figure this out, guys. Phase 5. We're gonna do this on the show because I don't want to edit this later. So you're just gonna have to listen to me talk this out while I type it in. Phase 5 Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay, we have.
Ooh. Okay.
Loki. I forgot about.
Okay,
Loki.
we have Ant-Man, we have Guardians, we have the Marvels, which that could potentially be a big universe. I don't know, maybe Captain America. That I feel like that's going to be pretty. Well, I don't know.
What about
New
Secret
World Order.
Invasion?
Thunderbolts is
I mean,
going to be
it's-
blast.
Yeah.
Blade, is that still on track? 2024.
I think they bumped it down because
Okay.
originally it was supposed to be November of
November.
2023, I think.
Yeah. We have Secret Invasion, which that's going to be a big show. That's a show though.
Yeah. Oh, and Armor Wars is going to drop at some point as a movie.
We got Loki season 2. We have Ironheart season 1. Echo. I forgot about Echo.
Yep.
Agatha.
Is anyone excited for Echo?
No.
I mean,
Like, I don't. She wasn't a compelling character.
no,
No.
and that's a problem. Like it. Yeah. I needed more of her in Hawkeye to be more invested, but I'm just not yet. Like I'm gonna watch it, but yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm the same way with Agatha though. Like I really love the character and I really love the actress, but for whatever reason, I'm not excited for it.
I
If
am
Wanda
actually
shows
excited
up,
for
I'll be
Agatha.
happy.
I think Agatha they're going to use as a vehicle to open up more of that weird magical side of the MCU.
Yeah.
Because I mean she's been a big character for that in the comics. Obviously her incarnation here is way different.
Wait a minute.
But I think having her can open up things to dealing with more Ghost Rider, kind of touching some of the stuff
Solid.
from Shang-Chi or any of the weird, mystical, magical, dark, and really just exploring more of that world and building more lore.
Mm.
And I think that'll be good because that could give a backdrop to establish other things without necessarily having to do all that world building
Yeah.
initially.
And then the last thing on this list for Phase 5 was Daredevil for Phase 5. So, but back to my original point, nothing else that I can tell is really going to be as, at least universe driving forward as Ant-Man. I don't think. Though Marvel's could potentially.
I think Loki could too.
Well, Loki. Well, yeah, Loki. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Sorry, that's a tangent. Ant-Man, what do we think about it? What do we feel like is going to happen? Is the immortal Paul Rudd going to die? Here's something I heard from someone. I can't remember who I heard it from, so sorry if I'm plagiarizing or whatever. But I heard a lot of rumors that instead of it being Doctor Strange, that what's his name? The character's name, Ant-Man, Lang.
Scott.
Scott Lang.
Yeah, that he might be kind of the more of the Tony Stark leader type of character for Avengers, which I don't know. I'm not totally against it.
Well, he will be the most like well-versed person like to take head on like quantum, anything. And if that's where the threat is, I mean, at least this threat of Kang is coming from.
Yeah,
I could see it.
I could see Sam and Lang being the Tony Stark Captain America duo in the Avengers. I could see that happening.
Yeah,
because I don't think Doctor Strange is a big leader. He's obviously powerful, but he's not a leader. Yeah. Spider-Man is, we don't know how that's going to play out.
We don't.
So, I mean, because you kind of need someone to kind of have a little anchor on moving forward. So, I mean, what do you think?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, if not them, who else?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have Chadwick. I would have said him.
I'm trying to think. We don't necessarily. I mean, I feel like Sam is your best bet right now as a leader. We can see who else plays out, like as things play out. But yeah, the only thing with Scott is Scott isn't that like super scientist. He's just a smart thief, which is what makes Scott's character, which is great.
Yeah.
But I'm like, for that coming conflict of universe ending, it's like, I don't know. I don't even know if we necessarily need to have that dynamic. And honestly, I think that could play into losing. Is that there isn't a great Avengers team, and that could lead into what the universe becomes after Secret Wars, because the King Dynasty could happen because there is no unified protection of Earth or reality or whatever, because we already know Carol's super headstrong, doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Sam's focused on Earth, doing his own thing. The Guardians are just chaos if they're still functional at that point, So it's like, and then you have Wanda, who may or may not be alive, who is just a wild card of universe-ending proportions, Yeah. So it's like you've got all of these random powers that aren't unified, and like the Sorcerer Supreme is Wong,
Right. Honestly, he's the only one I think who could. Ironically enough, he might be the guy. Like, he might be the dude who's just like, all right, guys, we got to get our shit together.
Yeah.
But he's not a great leader.
But he wouldn't do it in like the most heroic way, like a Steve Rogers would. But he would be the guy that he would just portal everywhere. It's like, all right, guys, let's talk about this. Like, he would bring the team together.
Oh no, he would bring Doctor Strange with him to convince people.
Yes, like this is for real. Like,
yeah.
They're like, wait, we know you. We don't know you.
Yeah.
Any thoughts or any guesses about what might result from this movie? Like, what are we expecting? Like, we obviously feel like this is going to move everything forward. Any thoughts on how?
Scott could die. I don't know.
I think we will. I would love to see, and I don't know if we will see this, is multiple kings. The thing I would really love to see is like see a king who's like this massive threat and this massive conflict happen, and they're like, okay, this isn't going well, and then another king shows up, kills that king, and it's like, all right, hey, so now we're going to talk about what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it just like really like shift the game of like, oh, we had this bad guy who we couldn't handle with, and this other version of him showed up and killed him.
Right.
We definitely can't deal with that guy, So I love to see more. I just want things to be messy.
Right.
I want people to die, get disintegrated, different time streams. Give me the chaos. I want it.
That would be a good lead into like the whole Avengers film, like because maybe it's a mystery. We don't know which variant it is, but there's like these different versions of him that are fighting to be the big bad one, and it's leading up to, all right, how are we going to fight whoever's going to end up on top? And that could be a fun lead up to the Avengers, because isn't what's his name, the director for Shang-Chi, isn't he directing one or both of the Avenger films?
Yes, I think he's doing Kang.
Yes,
I don't think anybody. They're trying to get Ryan Coogler to direct Secret Wars. Ooh. I've heard that name being thrown around. Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're getting both of those movies in the same year.
Yes, movie stellar.
They're a year apart now.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they moved them to 25 and 26.
Dang.
Oh, well, at least we get as close.
Yeah. It's just like Infinity War in that game.
Yeah. All right, any other thoughts about Ant-Man?
Nope.
Nope.
It is a good thing. There's still a lot of mystery. The trailer didn't give us too much, which is good. We don't want everything to be spoiled. Actually, did you even watch the trailer, Justin? You're not a big
For
trailer guy.
Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I usually do the first teaser. It's all the other stuff that I don't do.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll lie to you with the CGI, and I'm here for it. I just want to get a vibe, see what they're going for, see how many versions of the logo of Ant-Man they're going to put out, because there's been like 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I watched it, but I probably won't watch any others.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last for the Marvel movies. Say that quickly. Is Spider-Verse. We got a trailer 2 days ago.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday. I think.
And they are, dude. It's Spider-Verse for sure. There's
full on. Spider-Verse.
Yeah, it's like Grand
many
Central
Spider-Man.
Station of Spider-Man all in one place. And what are we feeling for this, guys?
I love it. It's all. I feel like we're going to see nearly every version of Spider-Man that we could see. Like some of those costumes, I was like, hold on, I gotta take a minute to remember where this is from.
Yeah.
Like the Doc Ock Spider-Man was there from Superior. His second costume as the Superior Spider-Man was in there. There's May Parker. May Parker, the child.
Yeah.
Annie Parker from a different timeline where May died and Annie was the second child. And Mary Jane also has spider powers. Yep, all of them just floating around. It's great.
I think
it's great.
Issa Rae looks pretty cool. Her character, Spider-Woman, she looked pretty cool with the afro. That was dope.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder which Spider Women we will see. Spider Women and girls.
Right.
I know there's some legal shenanigans with some of them, like Jessica Drew's in a weird limbo.
Yeah.
Because she's a Spider Woman, but she's the only Spider Woman who doesn't have like normal spider powers. And Jessica Carpenter's weird, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
But like Jessica Drew also was initially a Hydra agent, so she's in that weird legal space between Sony and Marvel. So they're gonna have to come with some agreement, kind of like with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks good from the trailer.
Yeah. When is that coming out? Is that like end of next year?
Was it summer?
Summer? Okay.
Yeah, summer.
I'm excited for it. I mean,
yeah.
It's just
the possibilities.
Right.
It can.
Yeah, I think I might be Justin too. I don't think I'm going to watch any more trailers for this one because I think I want to be. I really want to see some surprises in this one
for sure.
Yeah, it's June 2nd.
Okay. Yeah, and for them to show all of that in just like the first trailer, who knows what they're going to pull out of their hat?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Also, just not understanding why they're fighting Miles. I'm like, great.
Right. Yeah.
That too.
I'm like, I don't want to know. I just want to go in and just enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. And last but not least, we're going to break away from Marvel for a little bit and talk about Mandalorian Season 3. That is starting on March 1st, if I remember correctly. And I want to talk about it because we haven't talked about Star Wars in a while. We decided to skip Andor, which is fine, but some people in this group haven't watched it yet. And
rude.
I know. If you haven't watched it yet, you should. But Mandalorian Season 3 comes out soon, and we saw the first trailer a couple weeks ago. And it's pretty much everything that we are expecting Mandalorian to be based off of what we saw at the end of Season 2. And that is returning to Mandalore, and there being some kind of conflict between Din Djarin and Bo-Katan, and who's going to take the throne and how is this all going to play out. And now that we know based off Boba Fett that Grogu is back, there's going to be I'm curious to see where the plot really comes in and carries things away and what we're going to see from Grogu. Are we going to see any other characters come in? Is there going to be tie-ins with Ahsoka, because that comes out too? Is that next
year? I thought it was.
I gotta look up when that comes out. Is that
yes, it's supposed to come out also in 23.
Like summer or fall, I think.
Yeah, hold on. Ahsoka, that comes out. I can't remember if it's before or after. It says late.
It's after, man.
After. Okay. So yeah, what are we feeling?
I watched that trailer one time and then I was like, I can't watch it again because I don't want to spoil things for me. I have a lot of feelings. I feel like I think another thing that might pop up is Sabine.
I'm hoping so.
From Rebels, because her family had some degree of power, but also she's the one who gave the Darksaber to Bo-Katan.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, Siri. And we don't know how Bo lost it.
Right.
Is the other thing.
Yeah, Moff got it somehow, but we don't know how that happened.
Yeah. But because she didn't win it in combat, she would have never been accepted as like the ruler. And then she lost it in combat. So even then, it's like since she lost it, she might not even be accepted where she didn't win it back unless it was through some great conflicts. So I think we might see some really her not having support from and then there's the remnants of Death Watch and how that's all going to play out. Mm-hmm. And the Armorer.
Mm-hmm.
Who's still kind of a big deal because the Armorer's helmet implies that she sided with Maul. So it's like there's all these plot details as to who is she. There are some theories, which I'd have to explain to Jordan because I don't think he's seen all the shows.
I have not.
Yeah. So yeah, we won't even touch those.
Yeah, we'll retouch that.
Well, that's just the thing, isn't all this? Is like based on what we last saw with Mando, it seemed like he was still very sought to be a part of the Watch and be a part of that. He hasn't. There's some veils lifting and some things that he's been seeing as like, okay, maybe this isn't all there is, but he hasn't come to like a full on, oh, I don't have to go to your rules and do your things to be a Mandalore yet. Or Mandalorian yet. Mm-hmm. So I am curious to see how fast that transition may or may not happen. Whereas will he try to take the throne? Will he try to, in order to get back into the Watch? From what I can tell though, he doesn't know the whole history of everything. So I'm wondering how he's going to react to all that history.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see a lot of internal conflict because he's kind of going through almost like a religious deconstruction.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where he takes off. He takes off his helmet for Grogu, and then it's like, oh, well, now you've broken the rules, and now he's trying to get back in.
Yeah.
But I feel like as he comes into contact with the various aspects of Mandalore and just the rest of the galaxy, he's going to really have some sort of like existential crisis.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to revolve around that.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited either way. I'm also just excited in general for where Star Wars is going right now because it's kind of like She-Hulk, where there are some big things, but nothing is like moving it in a huge forward direction. Like, oh, we're now getting Star Wars outside of the Skywalker saga. Everything is still inside this, but it's not driven on Luke Skywalker. It's not dependent on these characters that we know in the movies. I'm really excited about the. What is the other show that's coming out? Starts with an A. Acolyte. That one looks interesting. There's just so much to look forward to, so I'm excited about it all.
It's gonna be good.
Agreed.
All right, guys. I think it's our show. Guys, we're finishing out this year. Sorry for the big middle emptiness, the void of no nerds, but I'll take the blame for it. Jordan, Justin, thanks guys for being on the show.
Yes, of course, thank you.
Thanks for
having us again.
Yeah. Before we close things out, Justin, where can we find you on social media, man?
I am everywhere at Justin is Theory. Not super active at the moment, but we'll see some stuff in 2023.
Yeah.
But.
All right, man.
And you can find me everywhere at Jordan CRTV. And I've been super active.
You have been very active, my friend.
So active. Every time I open up anything, he's at the top of my feed.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, thank you all for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe, leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at AlwaysMorePod. And thank you for being a part of the conversation. And remember, there's always more than this. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hello, and welcome to Always Norton. Whoa, let me try that one more time, guys.
I was like,
that's going to be a good outtake. All right, here we go. Try it one more time.